Today I'm going to discuss some of the specific European kingdoms that existed about 1,000 years ago, and we'll begin, why not, with England. So England, as you can see here on the map, it's not the United Kingdom that it is today. Scotland is a separate kingdom, England's a separate place, and England's been chugging along. You know, it's had kings and stuff like that, but there's going to be a big change in 1066, and that's going to be that William the Conqueror is going to, he's really going to live up to his name. He's going to conquer England. Now, William is one of the Normans. So what are the Normans? Well, they were people who lived in Normandy, in France. They'd actually been given that area because originally they were Vikings who'd been attacking the area, and the king had given them Normandy. He was like, please stop attacking. Here, you can have Normandy. You can live here. You can be one of us. Just, leave us alone. So they moved there, they became, rulers there, and then the Normans, when you get down to William, attack England. They conquer England. William does. He conquers England. This right here is an image from the very famous Bayeux Tapestry, which illustrates William and the Normans conquering England. The gentleman on the horse is one of the Normans, and he is, defeating these guys who are resisting him at the Battle of Hastings. There's another picture of the Battle of Hastings right here. It's a very, very, very famous battle. It's when, William the Conqueror comes over and establishes the, the ruling family that, through different incarnations and different dynasties, has ruled until today, right? Prince William is in part a descendant of William the Conqueror. So this was the Battle of Hastings. As you might be able to guess, the gentleman who's not having a very good day right over here is one of the opponents of William the Conqueror, and he gets conquered. So William the Conqueror comes, takes over England, and he brings feudalism to England. All right, so he takes over England, brings feudalism, and feudalism, which we discussed some yesterday, comes to England. So England sort of gets brought into the Middle Ages. Sometime later, fast forwarding through a lot of English history, I just want you to know about King John, displayed here in this lovely mug. King John got in some trouble with his nobles over some, taxation issues. They weren't too happy with exactly what he was doing. So there's this little rebellion, and at the end of it, they don't, the nobles win, and at the end of it, they make him sign the Magna Carta, which was this explicit laid out document where the rights that the king owed to the nobility were spelled out, where the feudal contract that I discussed a little bit yesterday was put into detail that, hey, listen, we're providing you, the king, with all these taxes. In return, you must provide us with X, Y, and Z. The Magna Carta was one of the first documents of this kind to really spell out what a ruler owed to the people that he ruled, and has been used as a basis of declaration of rights and stuff like that ever since. It's quite famous. So now let's leave England and just jot over to France really quick. I'm not going to spend as much time in France. Just know that France, like England, right? England becomes this very sort of centralized, powerful nation in that, like, the king, the central government, has quite a bit of power. France, the same kind of thing happens, right? This dynasty comes into power. They're, powerful kings, and they sort of centralize power. They start off just ruling over basically Paris and the outskirts of Paris, but they get more and more powerful, and they do become a pretty powerful country, as in that, like, the ruler can make decisions that sort of really do affect everybody. England and France go in that direction. The Holy Roman Empire that you see right here, that sort of takes over, modern-day Germany and some Italy, I'll get into that, they take a different route. This is Emperor Frederick II. He tried, his dad, the rulers of the Holy Roman Empire tried to create a nation like France, like England, that was sort of very centralized, very powerful, but they are less successful. They get distracted by these wars where they're trying to take over Italy, but, Italy doesn't want to be unified right now. Italy's like 6 different countries, and because they sort of get bogged down in these wars and stuff, the nobles end up having more power there. So the emperor exists, the emperor's real, the emperor is nominally in control of everything, but really it's the nobles who are powerful, who really sort of call the shots. And a little bit later on in history, that will that'll become even more real when the Holy Roman Empire just completely falls apart and the different nobles become like actual little kings of tiny little countries. Germany and Italy, which all I gotta tell you about Italy is it's decentralized, are both like that, right? They're both many different independent countries that are sort of constantly undergoing these shifts. They don't really become unified until hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years later. They go on a real different track than France and England. Spain still at this point is also decentralized. Spain still has, Arab and Muslim sort of empires that are somewhat controlling it. Spain's not going to become a big unified country until a couple hundred years later as well. And that's it. So just remember what I told you about England. Remember that England and France are the centralized countries, that Germany and Italy are the decentralized countries, and you should know the Magna Carta. Oh, and Russia, I told you yesterday, but Russia is starting to become its thing, right, from the rulers of Kiev have started their conquering, and the original, the Rus, who again are these people originally from Sweden, who end up going down to Kiev, they are going to end up, sort of taking over Russia. But that's a long time in the future. And we're done.